please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
I have to ask you the question on the Rafale deal. Now, obviously, it's become political mudslinging. The Congress party saying that the figure initially there was reluctance to release the figure per aircraft. Now, the figure has been said in a written reply in Parliament, 670 crores, but that is minus avionics, weapon systems, India-specific requirements, and so on. The Congress party says that their deal was about 500 odd crores per aircraft. How do you respond to that, first of all, politically?
I think we've given a very elaborate statement on Rafale. The factors that we have to keep in the back of our mind whenever we speak about Rafale, even at the cost of repeating, I'd like to say it here. The constant reference to our price versus your price. You can go into 10 shops wanting to buy something, and you didn't end up buying it at all. How does it matter what price was quoted to you when you didn't buy? We bought it. And for a non-deal where you probably kept bargaining with whoever, or probably kept telling your own HAL to do this or that, which they couldn't do, or they did, none of which is firmed up in paper with a signature saying this is my agreement, somebody faulted on the agreement or something of that kind, I agree. But when you've not done anything, you kept toing and froing and toing and froing. End of the day, you realize that the squadron strength is coming down. But even then, sense of urgency didn't prevail. But now that the sense of urgency prevailed and the Prime Minister went to get a first expression of intent. Do we want to buy Rafale? Will you give me Rafale? CCS has not approved that. Excuse me. How many prime ministers, when they go to different countries to talk about, just to find, will they be able to deal with us on this, need a CCS's approval? I don't know if they've not understood the difference between a stage when the expression of interest is being said, that's April 2015, and a stage after detailed negotiations.
Sure.
Agreement gets signed in November of 2016, 1.5 years later. It is for that you should talk about CCS approval. So there is a lot of convenience-based argument which is being thrown out at people, allegations being thrown at us, where actual process and an understanding of the process, recognition of the process, and the milestones that you have to achieve in going through this process are all happily being ignored. And you keep repeating this, and we'll have to keep, because media has a job to ask us and we have a job to reply, we'll have to keep replying. And imagery is being created saying, oh, there is a scandal here, the scam is coming up, they're not answering. There is a scam I want to look at. There is no scam existing here. You may search as long as you want.
But would you be open for a probe? Would you be open for
probe? What do you mean, Zakat?
I believe there's a PIL already in the Supreme Court.
No, wait a minute. You can believe many things, and really, if people want to go, I can't stop anybody.
Okay.
But I want to tell you this. Just by throwing flack at us, the maturity with which issues of national interest have to be addressed are not being addressed. You can accuse us of having obstructed the parliament several times before. They are also doing that, and so on. But I also want to cite here that on issues of national interest, when we have asked questions, being in the opposition, the replies given by the then defense minister, be it Honorable former President of India, Pranab Mukherjee ji, or Antony ji, they have sought cover under national interest. And the Bharatiya Janata Party didn't make a big scene out of it. We agreed, all right, if there is a problem of national interest, we'll let go. We trust that the government will not do anything harming the national interest.
Sure.
That level of statesmanship, maturity, I'm sorry, I'm unable to see now.
Okay. All right. Let me ask two questions when you speak about national interest. Two questions, one on our western neighbor, one on our eastern neighbor. I'll start with the western neighbor. As per MOD's own stats, the Army's own stats, There were more than 900 ceasefire violations last year. In the first couple of months of this year, there have already been close to 200. More soldiers have died last year than in any year in the previous decade. More terrorists have also been killed last year than in any year in the last decade. Would you see this as a failure, as a success, or a work in progress?
Well, I would only put it as work in progress. I don't want for a minute to give you the impression, nor do I believe in it, that, oh, we are successfully handling it, and I want to gloat, using your word. No, there's nothing to gloat here. It's the responsibility of the armed forces, and they are doing it very well at great cost of their own men and, assets. That infiltration is being stopped at the border itself. We are not allowing the infiltrators to come in. Well, of course, there is some who still come in.
Sure.
And we do eliminate them. Yes, the incidents at the border has gone up. But very clearly, we are also holding on and very clearly pushing them back. And the sacrifices being made by the Indian soldier is not such that I would, yes, sacrifices will have to happen. No, I feel for every one of our soldier who's losing his life there. It is such a, it's such a heartbreaking, development every time you hear something like that. And it is so unthinkingly, both the state actor and the non-state actors of Pakistan now in collision to do this. The earlier pretension that there is a distinction between non-state actor and the state actor no longer exists, I would say. And as a result, each time when our soldiers are sacrificed there, it's terrible for this country. And equally, I won't be able to even claim the number of their men or their non-state actors who we eliminate till such a time the legalities are completed. The bodies have to be claimed, their FIRs have to be registered, the body has to be handed over to somebody who claims that it is our man, and not easily does Pakistan accept even their soldiers if they're killed.
Yeah, they did in Kargil.
For every time an incident happens, in India, we have a problem that we don't even have a completed process, end of which I'm able to say, this many of Pakistani I have eliminated. Because we do respect law, we have to go through the process again, and after the completion of the process, I'm able to claim. But there is a time lag.
Sure.
So the impression going out, I wish, is not, we are doing nothing, we are sacrificing our soldiers. Please, no. And those veterans who are here will be able to appreciate the point that it takes its time to assert and to state it, because we are a country who follow the rule of law.
Okay.